All right, so we're back right now, and I realize it's been almost 2 months since I posted the last video, and I realized on the last video I said that I was gonna do my best to post weekly, and I realized that I just keep telling y'all things with good intentions, and then it doesn't happen, and I apologize. So how about for right now, I'm going to try not to make any open-ended promises because I really do. You can, if you ask my girlfriend or my family, I need to film a video. I need to film a video, but there's just so much BS going on that it's really difficult to do it. And then when you have the time to do it, quite honestly, you don't want to do it because there's just too much BS going on. I'm going to tell y'all about some of that BS right now. But real quick, we're going to do a little kind of walk around. All right. Here's Jubal. He has not moved. He's in the exact same location. All I'm going to say about this, okay, is I do have the motor mounts, and I do have the intention of working on this in the next week. All right. If nothing else, at least getting the engine in the engine bay and getting that figured out, and then we'll have to figure out the exhaust and the exhaust and the drive shafts, which I think the rear drive shaft should be fine, but the front one might have to be shortened. I don't know, but that's all I'm going to say about that because I'm tired of disappointing y'all. I'm worthless. I know. I'm sorry, but there's just BS going on. So let's wander out here into the light because it is a nice day, and we'll have a chit chat. Okay. So a while back, y'all know that I got rather ill. I told y'all about that a few videos back, and I've been dealing with the wonderful, wonderful hospital that I ended up going to, which was quite pleasant, by the way. Long story short, they told me the price at the hospital, but then they said, if you pay this amount, then that's all there is. So instead of 10,500 chinchillas, if you give us 800 chinchillas today, we'll forget about it. Okay? So we give them the 800 chinchillas, and they say, you might receive a bill in the future for a small amount of chinchillas, you know? And I'm like, okay, whatever. That's it. That's all they said. Well, fast forward, I get the small bill. It was for it was for $197, I think. And I attempt to pay it. And it says that the balance is zero. There's nothing to pay. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I get a separate doctor bill, which is it's a whole nother thing. But regardless, that's it. Then, like, I don't know, 2 months later, I get a bill for like $7,000. And this hospital's not exceptionally easy to get on with, to talk to. So I finally got on with them today. And the lady that I talked to was a horrible, horrible representative. And she says, with a quite gleeful tone, well, you didn't pay that $197, so that's why it's $7,000. I said, well, I tried to pay that, but it wouldn't let me. No, that's not, no. It's, you had 30 days to pay the $197, and if you don't, then you have to pay the $7,000. This was never told to me in the hospital. It was never told to me in writing. She goes, it was on the back of one of those bills. That, you know, she's not even, I'm not even sure I got the one she's talking about, okay? So then I get transferred from that wonderful person over to somebody else, and they're at least, you know, sounds like they have a beating heart. It doesn't sound like they're the Grinch, you know? And so I'm talking to him, and he's like, well, here's what we can do. If you pay right now, it's only $1,843. I'm like, yeah, see, no, you're not listening. See, the part you're missing is the part where I've been lied to. Nobody informed me of this information. I tried to pay the bill that you're referring to, and they wouldn't let me pay it. So I've been dealing with that. Just literal, just just rampant BS. This is why I've never went to the doctor unless I was literally dying. And in this case, I would have probably have ended up being driven there in an ambulance if I didn't go when I did go. There's the CJ5, by the way, right there. I need to put the doors on it. I still haven't messed with its bumper. I haven't felt like it. Quite honestly, there's been a lot going on. I am no longer gainfully employed, let's say, at the place that I was working at. And that's a whole nother story that I can tell y'all another time. But regardless, the plan for the Red Clay Traveler now is me and my girlfriend are selling stuff down there at that booth that we have. It's kind of ticked up a little bit. It's going to drop off pretty sharply though right after the holidays. But once that's done, we'll be on the month-to-month basis with that. So once it drops off and it's not worth it anymore because it's pretty expensive to be in this booth, then we'll probably get rid of that. And I'd like to just go back to selling Willie's trucks and stuff because my experience with working for other people thus far in my life has been unreliable, shoddy, receiving of payment, lack of payment at all, being lied to, things like that. Things that most of you that are watching have dealt with, but maybe you didn't have the ability to tell them to go to hell because you had kids and you had a wife and you had a house and a mortgage or you had medical bills or whatever it was. But I really don't. I have some bills, but they're not overwhelming. And I'm not under the illusion that I'm capable of buying my ranch farm location anytime soon. So we got to wait for that impending economic collapse, and maybe one day in the future, if I don't die first, I can buy some land. But in the meantime, I don't really have to generate an obscene amount of money, and I would just like to. I'd like to really consider more carefully my next job position, because I've been really trying to get into that one job that you work at that pays enough to live on, at least, and has a possibility of upward growth, okay? Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, well, Red Clay Travel, everybody in the world's hiring. Well, maybe they are hiring where you're at. Maybe they are. All I can tell you is I put in for a lot of jobs that I'm grossly overqualified for, grossly underqualified for, that pay comically nothing, that it literally wouldn't be able to pay my bills with the job, everything that you can imagine, just short of working at like Publix. And there's just not that much action going on. So, I'm not trying to sing y'all a sad song. I'm trying to give you context for why you're not seeing me very reliably here. Because I went for a long time with giving y'all reliable content, and then I've been slacking, and I don't like it. But this is a tangential video. Y'all should be used to it by now. I keep getting, the sun's directly in my face, I keep getting a lot of commentary about, some of it rather hurtful, about why in the world didn't me and my brother use tongs when we used the big stick. Okay, there's the big stick. You remember the big stick? See its grandiose big stick action right there? And I know it's mean-welling comments from most of y'all, and I don't take it personal. There's a few people that wanted me to take it personal, but the simple reason that we didn't use tongs while we were doing that video a while back, which is like my number one performing video almost ever, is the big stick video. The reason why we didn't use tongs is, well, for lots of reasons. The same reason why most logging yards don't use tongs. The same reason why people that skid logs out in the Pacific Northwest up hills and stuff don't use tongs. The same reason why very, very few people that professionally move logs or anything like that are using free spinning tongs on the end of a cable. All right? Tongs work great. They do. They're fantastic. We've used them for years in other applications. But in this situation, tongs have a tendency to unhook at random times, or if it's a jerky kind of movement, because it's a master cylinder off of an old Chevrolet truck up there, is your levers. It's not super fine-tuned movements, okay? It's like 60, 70-year-old technology here. It's not like it's older than that, but I'm saying it's not like it's super fine-tuned maneuvers. So you got to jerk that log up in the air. If you hook it somewhat in the center, you hook it in the center like that, and you're moving it over there and it hits, it's very easy for tongs to release themselves, even good ones. And my brother's got a pair of tongs up there big enough to pick up probably a 3-foot diameter tree. All right, so it's not that we don't have tongs. It's the fact that tongs are pretty dangerous when used in the wrong application. And me and my brother both agree that this is the wrong application for that. Now, if we were skidding logs up this hill right here, see this hill? If we were skidding logs up this hill and using the truck as a way to pull them up here, then tongs would be fine. There wouldn't be if it comes loose down there, it doesn't hurt anything. If it comes loose hanging over your head or halfway on the truck, it tears shit up, okay? Almost every time. And the main reason, and this is probably the most important one, we didn't use tongs because I don't have to. That's the main reason. This should always be remembered, that when me and my brother are loading logs, we're doing it the way we want to do it. All right? That's the main, and like I say, I realize the more harsh tones are directed towards the couple guys that were literally saying I was an idiot and I had no business running the equipment, okay? And that my brother didn't, okay? If y'all want to load logs like that, the people that are talking like that, if you want to load logs like that, then have at it, go for it. But my bet would be that most of the people that commented that to me have never even seen a set of log tongs in their life. And I know some of you, like the fella that said he used to work in the factory where they built these, I guarantee he knows all about different ways that people did it. I know he said he never actually got to see one run in person, that he just worked at the factory. But what I'm getting at is, we've never run this kind of equipment before, this particular setup, and it works just fine the way we did it. You don't have to use tongs. And so what I'm getting at is there's no reason for 75 people to write me the same exact message telling me that I'm an idiot because I didn't use tongs. Because it's always important to remember, I don't have to do shit of anything ever in regards to anything that I feel. And y'all all know that. 99.9% of y'all know that. And y'all are here because you enjoy hearing me ramble, or you enjoy the Jeeps that I show, or the log trucks or whatever. And this isn't directed to any of y'all, all right? And I realize these other asshats aren't ever going to see it anyway, but I just think it's funny to get critiqued by men that have probably never done anything like this before. And it's always interesting. I always find it exhilarating. It's like I've had people that I know in my life that are friends of mine tell me all about everything they know about diesel trucks and all this kind of stuff, and they've literally never driven one. I've known them for 11 years, 12 years, some of them. They've never driven anything more than a car, and they're going to critique and tell me that I need to buy a diesel truck for this, that, and the other. And if I'm going to go rob a bank, I'll buy a diesel truck. And if you can find one that's modern, that's worth owning, then yeah, perhaps, But it's just always remember, y'all all know this. Most of y'all are double my age, but it's worth taking into consideration who is critiquing you and what is their credentials. All right? I try to assume that most folks that are older than me know something more than I do. I try my best to assume that. But the problem is the generation that I was used to interacting with when I was younger, which was, Korean War era and World War II era veterans and Vietnam veterans, those aren't the most prolific ones in society anymore. So a lot of what I run into is some guy that wore a business suit his whole life, which there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But he's trying to tell me how to do vigorous manual labor and moving logs and working on Jeep trucks and stuff. And I'm just not overly interested in hearing it. I don't have any problem with it as far as like him being interested in something, but just I don't need to be lectured about shit that belongs to me. You know what I'm saying? So that little rant's over. So there's the truck. We do have plans to show some more videos of it. We just haven't. My brother's had some logs delivered over here from some guys he knows, so I haven't really had any reason to use the big stick, but we'd like to. And then I didn't get to film it, but a while back we pulled down some trees with the dozer, and that was quite pleasant and fun. And the dozer's good and runs good. It's an old case, so it worked out well. So maybe in the future, if I can remember to film it, and we've got the time, I'll try to film some use of the dozer and the big stick again, because I really would like to, because they are fun. And like I say, a lot of people have never seen the big stick run, because that's the main reason why I post the video on there, because there's nobody has any videos of them on there running. Here's the dozer. We haven't had to use it in a while, but it's a nice little dozer. It runs good, sounds good. It's got that, it sounds real nice. But basically, that's really all I had for you today. I just kind of wanted to show you the big stick. Wanted to ramble at you a little bit, let you know I am alive. I've been looking at different Jeeps and trucks and stuff on there, and different things to look at, and the prices are pretty weird. There's some of them that are pretty rough trucks that are going for high. There's some really nice trucks that are going for low. It's a weird market right now, because most of y'all are probably aware that things aren't great across the board for most people in this country, and let alone the rest of the world. So it's a weird market, and it's highly dependent on where you live. Some states a Willys truck is never worth anything. Other states it's worth like it's made out of gold. So it just depends. I'm holding the camera a little over the normal because I've got this external battery on here, and it's heavy as lead, held out at arm's length, because it's a rather large external battery. Let's set you down for a second. I'll do some more light duty rambling. There you go. Yeah, there's been quite a lot of BS. I don't know what they're doing back over there behind me, but it sounds like they're going ham, as the kids say, on something. But yeah. Sorry about the big stick ramble. It's just like every time I get on YouTube, all I see is comments. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Why are you so stupid? And like I say, of all the comments I've gotten since I started this channel, I can count literally still on one hand. There's probably been 5 legitimate asinine comments. So I think we're doing pretty good, honestly. I think we've got an overwhelming majority of solid folks here. Most of my audience, I've said this before, most of my audience is 65 or older, which is fine with me. I've always had more in common with guys more than double my age my whole life. It's always been that way. That's why most of my friends at the cigar shop are Vietnam veterans and stuff, because I find it so much more pleasant to talk to them. And I've seen there's a lot of good content being made. I've been watching a lot of it, and I've decided that other YouTube channel, some of y'all have no idea what any of this that I'm talking about, but some of you do. All right, Matt J, Brian Poole, the Marshall feller, all y'all all know. John Doe, I had another channel set up well over a year ago now. It was called Red Clay Garage, and that was when I was working, when I was traveling all over the road. My boss at that time was buying a bunch of cars and stuff, and I had intentions of filming those cars, and then it just petered out. I never did anything with it. We have 49 subscribers on there, though, so that's cool. If you go to that page now, it's no longer called Red Clay Garage. I renamed it, completely renamed it, changed the pictures, everything. So if the people that subscribe to that are watching and you're not liking what my intentions are with that channel, that's fine. I understand it. But I don't have access to any of that stuff anymore, and really it's not really up my alley. I don't like wrong ear Camaros. I never did. So my intentions with that channel is called the Red Bearded, or it's called Red Bearded History. Okay, my intentions with it are to film strictly history content, talking about a myriad of things. I'm probably going to talk about some of my own family history. I'm probably going to talk about local history to Georgia, where I'm at. I'm going to talk about U.S. history, talk about ancient history, talk about weird conspiracies involving the pyramids, and whatever else you want. But what I would like, if y'all have watched this far, to give me some suggestions on that channel, on here in the comments. What would be your first topic that y'all would like to hear? Because I know I get more comments about the history chats than I do the Jeeps, and people seem to really enjoy that. And history is my jam. All right, I enjoy history more than most anything, and it's inundated into every part of my existence, like literally all of it. So from the way I dress, to the firearms I own, to the vehicles I own, to the things I buy, to the furniture, whatever, it's all history, historical, antique. So that was a school bus turning around, children off getting educated by their government. Anyway, so throw in some suggestions about what y'all would like maybe to be the first video on that channel. I haven't filmed anything for it. I haven't decided on the format either. And so what I would like is for y'all to maybe give me some suggestions on that. I would like some suggestions, all right? Part of me really wants to go up into the mountains and just sit around the fire and talk about history. I really like that because I enjoy doing that anyway. And for some reason, it's more pleasant to talk about history in a wooded environment. The other part of me says, no, maybe you just do it in a more formal setting. You can have a whiteboard like Glenn Beck, and you can flip it around and all that kind of crap like he used to do. I don't know. I haven't decided. What do y'all think of my subscribers now? What do y'all think? What would you want to see? If you are inclined towards watching something about history, and y'all are familiar enough with me and how I talk and everything, what do you think would be the best presentation of that? I would like to try to keep them on average 30 minutes or less. Try to be, as concise as I can be. That's kind of that's the loose idea. I don't have a problem, as y'all know, going over to an hour and a half. It doesn't bother me, but I just want it to be something that y'all can get something out of. I would like for y'all to watch this video and you come back, watch one of these videos on this other channel and come back and say, oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. I never thought of that. I'd like it to be like that. Because in my private life, all I talk about is history. It's all the time. I don't talk about modern events very rarely because they just don't interest me because they're happening right now. And they do interest me, but you never know what's happening in a modern event until maybe 10 years after it occurs, because all the misinformation and the propaganda and everybody's lying all the time. So you don't actually know what's going on at any given time, and most of what we think we know is going on isn't actually what's going on. And that's something that I think everybody from all backgrounds and all political backgrounds should be able to at least agree on, that is that we are lied to all the time about everything. And I have no interest in getting more political than that statement right here. Now, in some of these history videos, you might hear me go off on some historical figure or something, and I try to be I really do try not to be too overwhelmingly biased. But y'all know that it doesn't work out very well. But usually my biases are inclined to the fact that there are certain historical figures that are vilified and hated for sometimes very legitimate reasons, or bad reasons, or no reason at all. And then you have other ones that are just heralded as just the greatest, just Atlas holding the world up. And if you look at them at all, they're horrible, horrible people, just as bad as the other people that are hated in society. But for some reason, collectively, the educated class and the political class have decided that these historical figures are worth emulation. So, that's usually where my bias goes. Like, when I'm talking about ancient Egypt, I don't have any bias towards ancient Egypt. I like ancient Egypt. I think it's pretty sick, you know? I have a lot of questions about the pyramids, but so do a lot of people, quite frankly. And I think it's kind of ludicrous that the only answer that's accepted by archaeologists is laughable at best, and then the only major alternative answer is aliens. Those seem like two, seems like there's probably something in the middle. But anyway, I'm just rambling, but I really enjoy talking to y'all. And I know some of y'all enjoy my ramblings. So for the those of you that don't, there's a button up in the corner shaped like an X, and you can click the hell off of this any damn time you want. Isn't that cool that you have the freedom to do that? Isn't that cool? For some reason, some people don't do that though, and I don't really know why. I guess it's hard to click the button if they're sitting in their basement in their underwear eating Cheetos. They don't want to get their mouths all sticky. I don't know. Anyway, what I'm saying is I love you all deeply. And I know y'all get tired of hearing me running excuses by you, and they're not excuses, in my opinion, because they're true. Lots of times excuses are just bullshit that people tell to make up for why they haven't done something. I'm just being honest with you. I haven't had the energy to film a video in a while. It took a lot of aggravation on myself to get myself to come over here and do it today. All right? I haven't been in the best mood lately. I'm not as chipper as I usually am, as you always know. I'm just upbeat. Nobody can get me down. You know that. But I just haven't felt like it, quite honestly. And I got a lot of work I need to do on the Jeep truck. And then I've got some plans for the two-wheel drive Willys on whether or not I sell it or not. I'm not going to sell any of the 3 Jeeps that I have left unless I have to. I've got other things that if push comes to shove, I would liquidate before I would liquidate them, because I've narrowed it down to those 3 because those 3 are the ones that I like the most. So that's kind of the plan. But I'm serious. Hit me up in the comments about that history channel. If you're interested in that history channel, I don't know that you'll be able to find it because I haven't posted a video to it yet, so you may not be able to find it yet. But give me some suggestions. It's called the Red Bearded History. That's what it's called. It's got a picture of the two-wheel drive Willys, I think, for the profile picture. So if you find that interesting, then please go look for it. But like I say, you may not be able to find it, so don't be disappointed. I'm not lying to you. It exists. I just haven't posted a video to it yet. Yeah. So leave me some comments if you would, please. Thank you for everybody that subscribed here recently. I've got a lot of subscribers since that last video I posted. And I'm just sorry I've been slacking off of the content. I'm not going to make any promises, but I do have an intention of trying to post weekly, either on this channel or on the other channel. That's also the other reason why I started the other channel, is because it's very difficult sometimes if I'm waiting on parts or something, or I just don't feel like laying underneath a Jeep and messing with it, to film a video for y'all on this channel. So in those cases, I can just film a history talk, post it on the other channel. I don't have to lay out in the cold in the shop with no heat. I don't have to buy anything. I can do some research, present y'all something that's historically relevant, or fun, and then y'all don't feel like you're being deprived of content. So that's also the other reason why I'm doing that other channel. Give me some comments. Give me some ideas. What's the number one topics that y'all would like to hear about? What would you like to hear me talk about? My perspectives on things like that. Because like I've always said, I've tried to be extremely relevant to the fact that I'm not a historian. All right. I'm going to make mistakes, and historians make mistakes all the time too, but I just don't want anybody claiming that I said I was a historian. I'm not. But I know a hell of a lot about certain eras in history, and it's taken a long, long time for me to learn as much as I have about that stuff. And I'm pretty proud of the fact that I may be useless for much anything else, but I know a lot about Hitler. You know, I do. I really do. So if y'all want to hear a bunch of stuff, it could be anything. I went and saw the Napoleon movie. I didn't hate it. All right, didn't hate it. Didn't hate it. It could have been better, but I didn't hate it. I'm saying so. It could be about Napoleon. It could be about my opinions about the Napoleon movie. It could be anything history related is what that channel's for. So give me the comments. Just stop in and say hello. I really appreciate y'all more than you know. I really do enjoy this. And I forget how much I enjoy it when I go too long without doing it. So I appreciate everything that y'all do, the comments, the sharing, all that. Please continue to do that. For those of you that are new, welcome aboard. I appreciate you all, and I'm hoping to get some more content towards you from all different avenues here soon. And I'm still fighting with YouTube, trying to figure out how to get my first ever check from YouTube, which is $120. Is supposed to be coming. And that's $120 I've made since I was monetized. And so I was monetized at 1,000 subscribers, which is, I guess, a year ago or something. So I made $120 in a year. Not bad. It's not bad at all. But anyway, it's kind of complicated to get that money for some unknown reason. So I'm going to have to call YouTube, AdSense, whoever the hell it is I have to talk to. I'm going to have to call them tomorrow or Wednesday and figure out what's going on with that, because I have everything set up that's supposed to be set up, and I still can't receive the payment yet. So that's the other thing that I know 99% of y'all already know this. But for the ones that throw shit at me about the big stick, like I was talking about, I do all this because I enjoy doing it. I am hoping at some point in the future to make enough money off of it to at least support doing it, to buy better cameras and microphones and stuff. But as of right now, every video I've ever filmed has basically been for free. And I'm not saying that to guilt trip y'all or anything or try to force you to subscribe. I'm just saying I'm providing for some of y'all entertainment that you don't have to pay for of any kind at all. You might have to watch an ad run through it, which YouTube was putting ads on my content before I was even monetized. So back in the early days where I was monetized, they were running commercials on my crap without, which it's their platform. They can do that if they want. So just saying, next time you see me doing something that you don't like or you don't agree, just remember, like, hey, this asshole's on here filming shit for free that I can watch. Do I really need to write in and say something that I may or may not be right on? If it's a legitimate criticism, throw it at me. I'm on board with legitimate criticisms. But if it's just the same comment of why didn't you use tongs, and you've already seen me answer that question 14 times that day, then, maybe just keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? I realize I'm pissing in the wind because this is the internet and anybody can say whatever they want on the internet. I get that. I understand. But this is for the reasonable people. That's what I'm getting at. It's for the reasonable people. All 5 or 6 left in the world. That's what it's for. I'm the Regular Traveler. I love you. And hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more of me soon, since my schedule's pretty open these days. So I'll get back with you as soon as I can. And give me those ideas in the comments. Remember, Willie's for life, Jeep for life, and big stick sickness right there. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, yeah.